So in the last week or so, there's been a lot of talk about seed oils, and some companies that claim they don't use seed oils, they use things like avocado oil or other, different types of whatever in their products. And UC Davis, the university out in California, did a study or some research, and they tested some of these brands and learned that there were I don't know how, I didn't do a lot of research into the actual study or anything like that. It's kind of just stuff that I followed online a little bit, but a couple of them are brands that I would use for condiments, and they found trace amounts or some amounts of seed oils in the products. And then these companies have come out and disputed that there's any seed oils in the product. So this is kind of a back and forth thing, and you're kind of going off, who do you listen to, who do you trust, who's right, who's wrong. And I don't know how many amounts of seed oils are in different products. I don't know. I only know what I don't know, right? So I kind of wanted to talk about seed oils today. And, if that's something you care about, I do. I used to care a lot more. I have said on here numerous times that I follow an animal-based diet, along with, fasting protocols and things of that nature. And I totally understand. Some of you just do not care about seed oils. You think it's, that it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, what really matters is your calories. If you're trying to lose weight or trying to lose or gain weight, it's really how much energy you take in versus burn, right? Whether you follow like a carnivore keto diet, you're just trying to eat healthier, you believe seed oils are bad, or a lot of people claim there's no such thing as bad food, it's just eating less and stuff like that. I try to be more like nutritiously conscious, and I just choose not to eat seed oils. I know there's some of them that cause me issues from eliminating them, and then when they creep back in or whatever, I'll have inflammatory stuff that pops back up. So I do my best to avoid seed oils if at all possible. I used to be really kind of crazy. There was like a year or two where I was totally nuts about it. I wouldn't, trust anything if I thought it had seed oils in it. But I want to talk about, if you are a person who cares about the consumption of seed oils, it's something that you're trying to avoid in your diet or eliminate completely, whatever, how to kind of do that, or how to accept the risk. I work, my background is in risk management professionally, in my, in the professional life. So that's basically what it is, kind of like what gives you the greater or less risk of running into things that'll cause you problems if seed oils are a thing that are inflammatory for you. So let's start with how to completely avoid consuming seed oils at all. Basically, 100% of the time, this is how you're absolutely sure, 100% of the time that you're consuming food, you've cooked it yourself, prepared it at home, bought single ingredient items from the store, whole foods, and you're preparing those yourself in your kitchen on your pots and pans and making it at home and eating it, buying it from the store yourself, whole meat products, anything, vegetables, whatever you're cooking with, cooking with butter, tallow, maybe tallow that you've sourced yourself or from the store, whatever. And then you're cooking those foods yourself and eating them. That is the surefire 100% no BS way to know that you're safe from the seed oil monster, right? If you want to look at it that way. And there are some people that are okay with that. You know what? That's the way that I have to eliminate seed oils. So be it. You know, there's people out there that are totally fine with that. And then there are some of us who realize that sometimes that may not be realistic for everybody. This isn't the 1950s anymore. This isn't your grandparents' world where they didn't have to worry about this kind of stuff. And there's all kinds of research online. You can go out and find yourself. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys a dissertation on seed oils and the dangers or whether they're safe or not. You know, feel free to go out on the internet and do all the research you want. You probably won't come to any kind of conclusion other than testing things out on your own. But, you know, like I said, I have read enough about them, heard enough about them. And, you know, there's something that I try to actively avoid if at all possible. My approach to life is I understand that I'm not probably the way I live going to be able to completely eliminate them 100% of the time. As a normal, you know, regular middle-class American with a family and, you know, multiple kids, wife, and kind of always out in the world, not staying in our box, doing things, traveling, having fun experiences out and about. I'm going to eat some food from restaurants. I'm going to have to get stuff on the go. I'm going to have to buy some products from the store. And like I said, there's a lot of great options out there. One of the ones that was listed in the study that came out and they refuted everything was Chosen Foods. They cook with avocado oil. They also make they have mayonnaise, they have dressings, they have, you know, avocado oil spray for your pans and all this kind of stuff. And I've been using them for a long time. I have not had any issues or flare-ups or anything like that. I also use Primal Kitchen for some of my condiments and dressings and stuff if I want that, because like I said, I practice an animal-based, you know, carnivore-ish diet. But I do kind of like to enjoy my food. I'm human. You know what I mean? I don't think food should be entertainment. I think it's there to fuel you and it's nutrition first. But hey, things taste good, right? You like to let your hair down, enjoy yourself a little bit. You know, it's a balance, right? And it's not like a 50-50 balance. I like to think that I tip the scales highly in favor of eating whole, nutritious, you know, one ingredient foods. But, you know, I'd be lying to you if I sat here and said that I was perfect and I didn't eat out now and then and, you know, just have to deal with eating on the go. So anytime that you're out and somebody else is preparing your food for you, you're putting all of your trust, all of your faith in whoever that is making your food, whether it's a cook at a restaurant, your grandmother's house, you're eating over at a friend's house, whatever that may be. So keep that in mind, you know, that control is out of your hands. You're not going to be able to 100% always avoid things that you don't want to eat. I am a huge advocate of reading nutrition labels when you buy things in the store before you bring them into your house and eat them. So I will die on that hill. I think it's your responsibility to know what you're putting in your body. Those nutrition labels exist for a reason. You know, in our perfect world we live in, there's laws that govern that stuff and what these companies can say goes into their food and what's not. And if it doesn't list seed oils on it, they're probably not using them as the main ingredient, right? If it doesn't have soybean oil right there, number one on the ingredient list, that's not going to be the base of that food item. So if it doesn't have any seed oils listed on it at all, it's probably going to be fine. That doesn't mean there aren't any in there. That doesn't mean some way, somehow, that product wasn't prepared on a device or machine or something that didn't also process seed oils in it, or that they're possibly cutting it with small trace amounts of seed oils. I don't know. I'm not in the food industry, so I can't tell you. I'm just trying to use my best judgment as a regular consuming American. And that's really all the best we can do. So, I'll probably still continue to use these products because, like I said, the biggest indicator of if something is causing you issues is how you feel when you eat it. And I know, like, if I eat a mayonnaise or a ranch dressing or something that is basically made 90% or whatever with some type of product like a seed oil or something else that causes me issues, I'm going to feel that. I've been eating clean enough, this carnivore way I've been eating long enough to where I kind of have been able to figure out, oh, this thing was causing me issues and I shouldn't eat that. I get little skin breakouts, I get other inflammatory, my knee will flare up, things like weird stuff like that. So I know there's a lot of products on the shelves, these ones that are, they claim to be seed oil free, that you're using avocado oil, which, funny enough, avocado oil doesn't cause me any issues. I can cook with it. I can spray it on my cast iron if I need to. I can eat the avocado mayonnaise and ranch dressings and yum sauce and all that kind of stuff. And I don't feel anything. I feel fine. I do great. I thrive on it. But if I were to eat an avocado, a whole avocado, I get like an allergic reaction to it. It's the craziest thing that I can do the oil. I mean, it must be in the fibers of the fruit, the avocado fruit that I have reactions to. But the oil itself, when they extract the oil, it doesn't cause me any issues. So I'll continue eating that. But like I said, I'm kind of going on a tangent there. If you're out and about and you're eating on the go, even if you're trying to order like the least bad items on the menu, bad being a relative term, like what I want to eat versus what I don't want to eat, right? Because a lot of people will tell you don't call any foods bad. Let's be real here. There's items on the nutrition labels I have no idea how the hell to even pronounce them, let alone what they are. And I choose to stay away from those type of foods just to play it safe, right? But whenever you're eating out, whenever you're eating at somebody else's house, whenever you're eating food that's not prepared by you, using ingredients that aren't 100% just one single item, one single cut of meat, a whole vegetable or fruit from the store, whatever it may be, that risk is going to be there. That risk exists. So you just have to use your best judgment. And I guess just to keep this video kind of short, my point is do your best, do the best you can, definitely, come up with a plan, draw your boundaries and whatever the case may be. And unless you have some severe allergic, problem with these items or something like where it's your safety's involved, obviously you might have to do something, a little more strict. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself insane obsessing over stuff like this. I've been there, quickly realized that whatever good I was doing for myself physically the obsession mentally was just, it's like I'm driving myself crazy. I'm driving my family crazy, obsessing over this stuff. And, you know, trying to keep yourself happy is important, but trying to keep yourself healthy is also important. So just my point is, don't drive yourself insane with this stuff. Do the best you can. You know, if you're willing to accept the risk that once in a while you're going to ingest a seed oil or some other food product, you know, it's not a whole food, but it's like an additive to a food that you don't want to eat, and it's probably, you know, you're not going to drop dead on the spot. It's, you know, a morsel of something going into your mouth is probably not going to shave multiple years off your life. Like, let's be honest, let's be reasonable, and let's be real. But do the best you can. You know, there are great alternative products to, you know, mayonnaise you find on the shelf that's chock full of, you know, soybean or canola or whatever seed oils you're trying to eliminate from your diet. You know, all you can do is the best you can. All you can do is just do better than you used to do. You know, a lot of us grew up on this stuff. A lot of us ate it for years, not knowing what was going on, what the risks were for some of these things. I didn't even know what the hell a seed oil was until probably 10 years ago. You know, so, or you know, didn't give it any thought, right? And if a little minuscule bit of it creeps into my diet, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to consider it the end of the world. It's not the end all be all, and I have wrecked everything, all the work I've put in and all that I have accomplished, all the progress I've made over the last however many years that I have been trying to stay on track with my diet and my nutrition and my fitness and my health and my longevity. Because, you know, your mental sanity is equally important to the rest of it. So that's all I'm saying. Some of you are going to agree with me. Some of you are going to disagree and say it doesn't matter. Eat all the seed oils you want. Live on seed oils and you'll be just fine. There are some of you that are going to say, come at me with pitchforks and say, no, you're not a real carnivore, not a real health person, whatever. And even the tiniest drop of seed oil is just the end of the world. You know, come at me with the pitchforks. I don't really care. But I'd say, you know, if you eliminate the 1% on one end and the 1% on the other end, I'd say the other, you know, 98% of you out there probably agree with me and probably need to hear the reinforcement that you're going to be all right. So that's all I got for you. Like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Tell me I'm an idiot or I'm wrong or whatever. Like, subscribe, share this video with somebody that needs to hear it. Leave a comment, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one later.